after week 4, who has performed well for your Clemson Tigers? And why is their stock on the rise? I'm going to tell you next on the Locked On Clemson podcast.
You are Locked On Clemson, your daily podcast on the Clemson Tigers. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's up, Clemson family? Welcome back to the Locked On Clemson podcast, your daily podcast covering your Clemson Tigers, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. I'm your boy, Damian Parson, always on the ones and twos. You can find and follow me on Twitter at DP_NFL. I'm the founder of the Scouting Room. I'm a national scout with the Draft Network, as well as part of the co-host team of the Locked On NFL Draft Podcast. Guys, happy Tuesday. Thank you for making Locked On Clemson your first listen today and every day. Shout out to you guys, and thank you for being my everydayers. Guys, we have a great show. We're talking stock up, right? We've talked about the negative things after the loss, the overtime, close overtime loss to Florida State. Let's get into some positivity, right? Let's breathe. Let's talk about some positive things, and let's get into just the stock, right? Like what players perform well and who is moving up the charts, who deserves more playing time, in my honest opinion, guys. And I'm going to tell you right now, there's a couple dudes that really showed up this past weekend. And let's start it off. We're going to talk about freshman wide receiver Tyler Brown. We get into our star cornerback, Nate Wiggins, and then another unsung hero, a player that a lot of people don't know about, wide receiver Troy Stellato. But before that, let's give a quick shout out to Game Time. Today's episode Locked On Clemson has been brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the promo code Locked On College for $20 off your first purchase. Guys, when I tell you stock up, Tyler Brown, freshman wide receiver, right? After last week, after week 3, Tyler Brown had the big catch for a touchdown, kind of, stretching the field, being that big playmaker, right? An explosive play generator, something that we haven't had, right? You look at the FAU game, he had that, 30-yard, I think it was like a 30-yard touchdown. He ended up having 2 touchdowns in that game, and to be honest. So, he had 3 for a 49. Yeah, he had a 30-yard touchdown, right? Explosive play. Over 20 yards, right? That was missing from this offense, and Tyler Brown brought that starting against Florida Atlantic, right? Makes you wonder why he wasn't playing a little bit more or getting those deeper shots, those what we call those money plays, right? You know what I'm saying? You get to those shot plays, you get to a certain area on the field, you get to the 50, 1st and 10, across the 50 into their 45, 1st and 10. Play action shot play, right? You would like to see things like that. But just watching, what he was able to do against Florida State, right? Guys, 5 receptions, 84 yards, average almost 17 yards per catch, and he would have had a touchdown. There was a play where he ran a post out of the slot, kind of similar to the touchdown against FAU, but it was on the opposite side. So he was lined up on the left side in the slot against FAU, was lined up on the right side on this play. And you probably know exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, hit him deep down the field and everything. I think he got up a little hobbled, like holding his shoulder or something like that. But the only reason I said, like, Cade has to be better with ball placement, because of the fact that if he throws his ball, like, Cade has the arm talent to drive throws, but I tend to see him, like, his pass is kind of loft a little bit. And I think that a lot of that has to do with his lower body mechanics. And he's not an even shouldered thrower where his shoulders are even when they throw. He tends to dip. And that's bad practice. That'll really mess up your throw. That can hurt your throwing arm, for one, but also it messes with your ball placement, your accuracy, and the ability to drive the football in like a straight line drive, right? He has some, like, his passes at times can look like pop flies. And, instead of just like a line drive when he needs to drive it. Because when Tyler Brown breaks out of the top of his route on that post, he's wide open. And all you have to do is drive that to him and drive him up the field, right? Lead him right into the end zone, and there's money. But what Cade does, and Cade leads him kind of right almost into the opposite defender. I think there's a safety on the opposite side of the field. He nearly leads him into that safety, and it's a play where he leads him so far away from the landmark that Tyler Brown has to dive at the ball. But I kind of saw early on, and I was like, okay, are they about to get Tyler Brown involved? Before that big play, there was a motion had him motioning from backside of formation into the flats, and they just got just easy dump off to him and let him make the plays. And it's like those are when you talk about just quick plays, you want to get the ball quick. I'm no disrespect to Adam Randall or even Bo Collins. Bo Collins is solid. But those type of plays, guys, I'm not using those big body receivers for that, right? I'm using Tyler Brown. I'm using Antonio Williams. I'm using those guys for the quick screens, the bubble screens, the orbit screens, those type of things, man. The jet pop pass, whatever, like those quick plays because the big thing is like this, even we talk about the screen at the end of the game, like Tyler Brown wasn't the guy receiving. They had him at the front of the line blocking. Like that's a clear not good. You have Adam Randall who's receiving the screen where it should have been the other way around, where Adam Randall and Bo Collins are blocking, and you allow Tyler Brown to receive it. And if you really wanted to pop, which is what the quote was, and I didn't explain this on the pod yesterday, but one of the biggest reasons I had an issue with the call is for him to say for Dabo to say, hey, we expected it to pop. Guys, if you don't know what that means in football terms, pop, they expect it to not just get what is there, but to get more. And that's being greedy. And I don't, there's no need for that. Just get the first down. But if you wanted to really try that and really execute that, you would have thrown it to Tyler Brown. So it's okay, if it's 3-on-3, you tell Tyler Brown, make your guy miss. Right, he's explosive. He's dynamic. He's shifty in space. I really like this for this young freshman. His stock is up, and even when Antonio Williams is healthy, I want him on the field more. I want him and Antonio Williams on the field. Right, same way I talked about coming into the season. Let me get Phil Maffa and Will Shipley together. Right, and what happened? Those are some of our best sets, guys. When they come out there and run pony, that's some of our best sets. We got 3 wide receivers out there, 2 running backs in the backfield. It's some of our best stuff, and I think that putting Antonio Williams and Tyler Brown on the field at the same time is not a bad idea. I think that's a really good idea, and I think it could really help this offense, man. But Tyler Brown, you talk about stock up, like I said, 584, almost 17 yards per catch. And if a quarterback threw an accurate pass, like that's a touchdown, right? And he has, more yards, he has a touchdown, but his impact was felt. And I really think that and the thing about what I love is that Cade trusts him. I love that Cade does trust him. Yeah, like I said, Cade should have thrown a more accurate pass, but Cade trusts this kid. He's getting the ball to him. And I love to see that, guys. I absolutely love to see that, because at the end of the day, that's what you need to be successful. You need to be able to generate explosive plays. And this is a team that wanted to play man-to-man. They wanted to play some press, some off. And when you're playing against a guy like Tyler Brown and you play off coverage and think that you could just squat, and play soft coverage, I don't think that's a good idea, because we've seen in back-to-back weeks, big post plays over 30 yards and 30 yards or more, and he can do that, 20 yards or more, whatever, and he can make those plays, guys. He can make those plays. But you know who else made plays? Our cornerback Nate Wiggins, star cornerback Nate Wiggins. His stock is up. Hopefully everything is cleared and healthy. I talked to someone close to the program that he is okay. From what I heard, they don't know the extent of the injury, but it doesn't seem to be anything serious, so we'll wait for the official report. I haven't seen anything online or anything like that yet, but Nate Wiggins' stock is up, guys, and I'm going to tell you why coming up next on the Locked On Clemson Podcast. Guys, trying to buy tickets at the last minute for your favorite event should not be stressful. You shouldn't have to worry about it. But we always do, and it's frustrating. Why? Because at the last minute, you are trying to find the best deals, okay? You're trying to compete with other buyers and avoid being scammed by scalpers and scammers themselves. Let me tell you about Game Time. Game Time is the fast and easy way to buy tickets for all your sports, music, comedy, and theater events near you. They have last-minute deals, flash deals, zone deals. Their tickets are easy to find and buy for every kind of event, and you will love the fact that they show the views of the seats, right? The image views, so you know how far back you will be based on the ticket that you're looking to purchase. All right, right now, Clemson fans, if you travel, you can go to Syracuse, New York at the GMA Wireless Dome to see this Saturday to see your Tigers face the Syracuse Orange for $42 on the Game Time app right now. So download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the promo code LOCKEDONCalls for $20 off your first purchase. Cornerback Nate Wiggins stock is up, guys. You talk about entering this game, and me and Brian Smith, you remember from the Locked On Clemson FSU or Seminoles crossover, and one of the things we talked about was targeting Nate Wiggins. And he was like, yeah, a lot of Clemson fans really love him. And I was like, and I told him, no, yeah, there's a reason for that. Nate is a dude. Nate's a baller, bro. And he's like, we're gonna see just how well he handles. And I'm like, I wasn't too concerned with him handling Johnny Wilson because he handled Johnny Wilson last year. It was more so the Keon Coleman matchup. And I can tell you right now, guys, just from what happened, scheme, like just coverage wise, right? Nate Wiggins was targeted, like legitimately targeted. What, 4 times? He was targeted 4 times in this matchup, right? 4 targets, 0 receptions allowed. He had 1 pass breakup. And when you look at the breakdown of the coverage, right, of who he faced in said coverage, he faced both Keon Coleman and Johnny Wilson. Keon Coleman, when he was in terms of how many times he was targeted in coverage with Keon Coleman, 1. How many times he was targeted versus Johnny Wilson? 3. Over. Florida State was over. Right. And now let me give a quick shout out also to Sheridan Jones. They only targeted him 1 time, and that was with the running back. You know what I mean? So, and I want to tell you guys, kind of paint this picture. When you look at outside the numbers, where the cornerbacks live, where our cornerbacks live outside the numbers, right? What did I see? What did I notice? What I noticed was Florida State didn't attack outside the numbers. They attacked between the numbers, because the majority of those throws and receptions and a lot of that stuff, like, it was more so in the middle of the field, right? It was more so in the middle of the field, outside of the kind of big plays down the field or whatever in fourth quarter to Johnny Wilson. And then both of those were on Jaden Lucas. To Johnny Wilson, big play in the fourth quarter, late in the fourth quarter, and then the game-winning touchdown, essentially, that was like a 24, 25-yard down the right sideline to Keon Coleman, where Jaden Lucas got mossed. Like, but with Nate Wiggins and Sheridan Jones, they weren't targeting those guys. And this is for good reason. Nate Jones was out there locking these dudes up, because one of the biggest thing was both Johnny Wilson and Nate and Keon Coleman, they're big body receivers, right? They're not the greatest separators. Like, Keon Coleman's a good separator. He's not great. He's not the most like twitched up guy. Like, so it's like, okay, when you're dealing with another tall, long-armed, athletic defender, right, or athlete on the football field in man-to-man, and you say, hey, jump ball. Remember the jump ball, the last play in regulation, right? That heave, that Keon Coleman's down there somewhere. The play that Nate Wiggins got hurt on, because I truly believe if Nate Wiggins doesn't get hurt, they don't score that jump ball. He's not getting that on Nate Wiggins. I promise you, he's not getting that on Nate Wiggins. Because even on that jump ball in the middle of the field on 4th and 10, Nate Wiggins is right there. You're talking hand right all up in his face. Just what does Mark Jackson say? Oh, for the NBA, hand down, man down. It wasn't one of them situations. His hand was up. He could leap with Keon Coleman and everything. So, like, you talk about making things difficult, making it tough. And it wasn't no pulling and holding and none of that crap. Some guy jumped into the chat with during my live stream saying that he was holding. No, he wasn't. You know what I mean? Like, your receivers do a lot of pushing off because they're big body receivers, right? That's what they do. So you push, I pull. And that's just simple as that. If that happened, I didn't see a lot of holding at all, but I'm going to have a breakdown probably tomorrow on the Patreon account because I broke down the play, the last play of the game for us, or the third down screen, the RPO that was not a good call in no way, shape, or form, despite what somebody in the comments kept telling me. It's not a good call. But Nate Wiggins, man, listen, a lot of people don't know who Nate Wiggins are outside of Clemson, but I feel like here's how this thing's gonna go, guys. Once we get to the draft cycle, I'm just telling you, as a draft analyst, as you see, draft day every day. Shout out to TDN. What's going to happen is this. People are going to watch the tape of this game for Keon Coleman, for Johnny Wilson, and they're going to then watch, not just shit. They're going to see Sheridan Jones. They're going, okay, maybe I need to watch a little more of him. They're going to see Nate Wiggins. They'll be like, okay, he can ball. He's good. And yes, he is. So when you can go man to man, when you can play at the catch point, when you can stay in the hip pocket of big body receivers, and not only that, even last year, you think about the game against Boston College, he's dealing with Zay Jones, and he dealt with that pretty well also. So listen, Nate Wiggins' stock is up. He is a dude. He's a CB1 for this team. And listen, shout out to him and Sheridan Jones, guys. Shout out to him and Sheridan Jones. Both of those guys balled out of control. Absolutely love what I saw. And I'm gonna show the graphic one more time. 4 targets, 0 receptions allowed, 1 pass breakup. He was physical when he needed to be physical. Okay. And he played at the catch point. He battled. All right. And he has that dog in him. That he has that tiger in him of sorts, right? They play on the school. He has that in him, and I'm excited for what is to come for this young man, guys. But let's get into our last stock up player. We're gonna talk about wide receiver Troy Stellato. Okay, I'm telling you right now. I'm going to say this. Someone should lose more playing time, and he should receive more. And I'm going to tell you why next on the Locked On Clemson Podcast. Need groceries for the week, but you don't have time to go to the store? Don't worry. Guys, try grocery delivery from DoorDash. You'll get everything you want, delivered when you need it, right to your front door. Okay, with thousands of grocery stores to choose from, you'll find the best in your neighborhood while boosting your local economy with each and every single order. You'll get exactly what you ordered, or they'll make it right. So sit back and relax, then enjoy quality groceries just like you handpicked them yourself. Guys, with easy substitutions right in the app and the best-in-class customer support, DoorDash delivers groceries exactly how you want it. So get 50% off your first DoorDash order up to a $20 value when you use the promo code LOCKEDONCollege at checkout. All right. I said, get 50% off your first DoorDash order up to a $20 value when you use the promo code LOCKEDONCollege at checkout. Limited time offer. Terms apply. Wide receiver Troy Stellato, his stock is up for me, guys. And I told you as I teased this segment, what is something someone someone has to lose some playing time because they have not been impressive. And I'm going to go ahead and let the cat out the bag. Adam Randall, 6'2", 230 pounds. He looks like God's gift to football, God's gift to wide receivers. But watching the tape of him this year, I have not seen a guy that separates well, a guy that's really explosive or dynamic or twitched up or great route runner. None of that. I don't see any of that. And then I watched Troy Stellato come into that game. And when I watched him come into this game, right, and he didn't have amazing numbers, but it was good enough. 4 receptions, 41 yards, over 10 yards per catch. 3 out of his 4 receptions went for first downs, right? So that's impressive to me as well, is that when they needed first downs and different things like that, you were able to come right into this game, walk right into this game and bring that. Troy Stellato should play more over the big body Adam Randall. And I'm being honest about it. One thing I really appreciated was the release package. I appreciated his understanding of space, his understanding and nuance at the position, at the wide receiver position, in terms of, hey, like, okay, you want to play inside leverage, that's fine. I'm running a slant, right? I'm going to shuffle step you, shuffle release you, or some call it the run it release. You want to run it or run the DB off their spot, right? Make them move from the inside leverage for them to either kick step or shuffle step outside, and then you break back across face. He did a good job of that. But the toughness, when they ran like the inside curl, right, the inside quick sit down, quick hitch route, and they and K put the ball right between the numbers. Not only did he catch the ball, but then he also was able to fight through, get some extra yards after contact. The toughness, the grit, and then what I saw was a guy that to me has been itching for playing time. That's what I saw with Troy Stellato, guys. I saw a young man that is itching for playing time, and I would give him more playing time in this offense. We need a guy like this. We need a guy that can step in and make the necessary plays, because he is talented, guys. I'm telling you what I know. He's talented. You see it, the quickness, the burst at the top of his routes, the strength. He's 6'1", 190. Yes, he's not 6'2", 230 like Adam Randall, but I think he might be faster. He's quicker for me, and he can separate better than I've seen from Adam Randall. And I like the potential of Adam Randall, but you might have to turn him into a power slot. You might have to put him in the slot. You know what I mean? Because for me with him, what are your routes? You know what I'm saying? If the routes that I can run with you are limited, you limit my offense. Just God's honest truth. If the routes that I can run with you are limited, and I feel like they are with Adam Randall, I feel like you can run the go route, which is either a 50-50, jump ball or a back shoulder. You can, if he sells the go route well, try and snap it off and sit down, work back to the ball and come back and curl routes. And of course, slants, in breakers, like just certain specific things. And like I said, if it's for me, it's like, okay, targeting you. Is it a 50-50 chance? Do I feel like I have 60-40? What for me when I'm looking at these situations, they're 50-50, maybe 40, 45-55 in favor of the defense. Because he's just a lot of times he's plastered. And I think Troy Stellato absolutely can continue to showcase his ability to separate, right? Quickness, all those things, strong-handed, but that strength, that power, that toughness, that grit he brought to the, what I'm saying, that not wanting to get tackled on the first go. Like, you need that. What we call that is an energy guy, right? You think about NBA or basketball guys coming off the bench as a sixth man, right? And they're just playing with unbridled energy, unadulterated energy. You can't stop it. You can't contain it. And that's what I see when I look at Troy Stellato. So, man, for me, I think Troy Stellato is a guy that we need to get the ball in his hands more. His stock should be up. Get the ball, get him on the field more. Play him more. Lessen the snaps of Adam Randall. Like I said, no disrespect to Adam, man. I think he could be a baller. It's just it's not happening right now. And there's just to me that there's opportunities that he's not giving us that I think a Troy Stellato can. And he showed that against Florida State that he can make those. Yeah, I mean, Adam Randall made a great one-handed grab that, was just kind of a circus catch, and it was tough, contested catch or whatever. But, what it was a contested catch. Why was it contested? Because he couldn't get open. Why couldn't he get open? It just physically, he's not a threatening guy athletically to be able to stretch and stress these defensive backs vertically. Right, you just want him to catch the ball and then try to stiff arm you and use his power and strength. You could be in his hip pocket, and that's what I have an issue with. I don't think that with Tyler Brown and Atoya Williams and even with Bo Collins, those guys, you're gonna have a harder time being in their hip pocket than Adam Randall's. And for me, I think the same thing with Troy Stellato. So, guys, that's our show, man. Just nice show. We like I said, we're talking positive stuff. Stock up for a couple of guys, multiple guys. I really picked these three because they really showcased a lot to me. Wide receiver Troy Stellato, get him on the field, Dabo. Get him on the field, Garrett Riley. Let's get him the football. Let's get him more and more snaps. Get him out there with the starters. True, honest to God, get him out there with the starters because I love what I saw from him, even in a limited, small sample size. Cornerback Nate Wiggins, guys. Stud. The rest of the country, when they watch the tape of this, the scouts, the draft analysts, and all that, they're gonna talk about him. Yeah, they're gonna talk about him. When they watch the Florida State tape from last year, they're gonna talk about him. They're gonna talk about it because he's a baller, man. So shout out to Nate Wiggins. His stock is up. It's been up for me, but I'm telling you now, after that, no hitter, it's stock up for him. And freshman wide receiver, man, Tyler Brown. Stock up big time, and I'm excited for what's to come for the Greenville native. I'm excited for him, man. This local kid is out there balling. So, sorry, my alarm. You know what I mean? So sorry about that. But yeah, Tyler Brown is balling, and I'm excited for him. Like I say, local kid, and I'm expecting him to do great things. But guys, that's like I said, that's our show. Go subscribe and follow for free on YouTube, wherever you listen to podcasts. Get the latest episode as soon as it is available. All right. On YouTube, subscribe, comment, talk to me because I do talk back for the algorithm. Like, share in any episodes that you love, and everything like that, and have discussions with me, with each other, everything, guys. Let's get this channel up to 1,000 subscribers. You guys are doing a great job. I love y'all. All the support, man. Even if we don't agree and we disagree on certain things, I still love you guys. Appreciate all the conversation and all the support, but also hit the bell notification so you're notified anytime I drop content on this channel. Okay. Other than that, guys, listen, on tomorrow's show, we're gonna get into some previews and getting ready for the Syracuse game and what we can do, what we can learn, all that type of stuff like that, and whatnot. So we can talk about more positive things, so forth and so on. But you can find me on Twitter. You can find me in the Locked On Clemson page on Twitter at me, DP_NFL, the Locked On Clemson page at LO_Clemson. All right, so go follow, talk to me on either one. We talk back on those channels, on those Twitter pages, guys. But As always, man, thank y'all so much. Thank you for making Locked On Clemson your first listen today and every day once again. Come and join the conversation again tomorrow on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day. Go Tigers.